Greetings everybody, my name is Travis Guzzi. I'm the Mission Engagement Facilitator for the SCD Central Region. And it's a joy and privilege to once again bring this latest edition of the iGo vlog to you, to empower you as everyday missionaries to connect with your neighbors in love and service in order to connect people to Jesus. Well, in this latest edition of the iGo vlog, I want to continue a series that we began in the last edition of the iGo vlog, focusing on the idea of the lack of. In the last edition, we took a look at the lack of love that sometimes many of us as followers of Jesus struggle with when we think about stepping out of our comfort zone to be the blessing that God intends with our neighbors wherever we live, work, and play. Well, in this edition of the iGo vlog, I want to continue the idea and the exploration of the idea of the lack of. And in this case, I want to focus on the idea of the lack of confidence. Let's face it, and perhaps this really describes you. There are a lot of believers who feel a lack of confidence in answering the call of God to step out, to love and serve their neighbors, to be the blessing God intends, and to share the good news of the gospel. Perhaps you're feeling like this. You're like, listen, I'm not a pastor. I'm not a church worker. I haven't been to seminary. I haven't been professionally trained. I don't have the knowledge and the skills that I need. I don't have the talents to bring to the table to be used by God. I really have nothing to offer. If you're feeling that in your life, I want to encourage you today that God has gifted you with all that you need to be the blessing He intends you to be for the people that He puts in your life each and every day. There's a passage that many of us as Christians, especially Lutheran Christians, are very familiar with, Ephesians 2, 8 through 10. In Ephesians 2, 8 and 9, we hear this, "For by grace we are saved through faith. And this is nothing of ourselves. It's a gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast." What this passage is talking about is our vertical relationship with God, that we are saved by grace, God's undeserved love, through faith, simple trust in the person and the work of Jesus. That we are not saved because of anything of ourselves. It is all Jesus all the time. The good works that we trust in for salvation are not our own. We trust in the good works of Jesus, of what He has done on our behalf. But then Ephesians 2:10, it's a passage we often don't focus on. And it really speaks to a different relationship. Not our vertical relationship with God, but our horizontal relationship with our neighbors. And in this passage, we hear this, "For we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Now, we as Lutheran Christians go, "What? Good works? Anathema!" Because we're always taught that good works are bad. Well, for salvation, yes, they are, because there's nothing we can do to earn God's grace. But when it comes to loving and serving our neighbors, there is a place for good works. It's actually Gustav Wingren in his book Luther on Vocation who says this, "It's not God who needs your good works, it's your neighbor who does." So in the vertical, there are no good works except the good works of Jesus. But in the horizontal, we are called to good works all the time. And when we hear in the scriptures the good works that we are supposed to do when it comes to our neighbor, it is this, to love and serve them. In fact, Luther's whole teaching on vocation, the different callings that we have in life, boiled down to being all about loving and serving our neighbors in our various aspects of life. That is a calling God has given to you and me and every believer. But more than that, besides this general calling of good works to love and serve our neighbors, there's also unique good works that each and every one of us have been called to. Let's face it, not everybody needs what you have to offer. But there are some people out there, and maybe they're in your life and maybe you haven't met them yet, who need exactly what you bring to the table. So how do we understand what our unique good works are? The unique way we can love and serve our neighbors with our gifting and our talents is to understand God's workmanship and design in our life. That's what Paul says in that passage. If you want to understand your good works, understand your workmanship. Now, there are some great ways to help you understand. Sometimes it's trial and error. You do things in life and you realize what you're good at. But some of you might be struggling and so far you haven't found what the things that you're good at are that you can bless others with, the unique talents that you have to offer. If you're feeling like this, I want to encourage you, reach out to me here in my role in the Central Region as well as the Southeastern District. There are some great tools that I can bring in doing some coaching with you to help you understand what your gifting, your workmanship, and design are. Things like the Clifton Strengths Assessment that helps identify natural God-given talents, the natural ways we think, feel, and behave, and how we can use them like tools in our tool belt to be a greater blessing to others. Or perhaps like the Myers-Briggs, the MBTI MBTI. Sometimes there are things we know about ourselves, whether we're an extrovert or an introvert, but it's really good to kind of get that defined, to take an assessment that gives us an objective view, and then to do some work with understanding, so what does that mean practically as you love and serve your neighbors? Or what's it mean practically to share the good news of Jesus if you're not an extrovert but you're an introvert? Well, it might mean instead of being gregarious and meeting lots of new people, you might have a few close, intimate relationships. And for you, sharing the good news of the gospel comes part and parcel of sharing life together over a cup of coffee or a lunch, over a season of friendship with people. So there's a lot of great tools that are available to help you create awareness of how God has gifted you. And by the way, He has gifted you. And with that knowledge, that deeper awareness, comes confidence that He has gifted you for what you need for the calling He has in mind for your life. And so I want to encourage you, reach out to me. I'd love to work with you in helping you discover God's gifting, His workmanship and design, so that you can have greater confidence to be the blessing He intends you to be. Well, with that, I want to wish you all God's richest blessings, and we'll catch you next time for our next iGo vlog. Take care, everybody.